The Phantom Highway. On a moonless night, Emily found herself driving down an unfamiliar highway. The road was a desolate stretch of black asphalt, bordered by dense, looming trees. Her GPS had died miles back, leaving her with no choice but to follow the seemingly endless road. The silence was thick, broken only by the hum of her car's engine and the occasional rustling of leaves. Emily's mind wandered to the local legends she'd heard about this highway. Stories of drivers disappearing without a trace, of ghostly figures appearing in the rearview mirror. She shivered and dismissed the thoughts as mere tales to scare travelers. As she drove, Emily noticed a pair of headlights in her rearview mirror. Relief washed over her. She wasn't alone on this forsaken road. She slowed down slightly, hoping the car would catch up and offer some comfort. But as she did, the other car matched her speed, maintaining the same distance. She tried speeding up, but the car did the same, never getting any closer or farther. An uneasy feeling settled in her stomach. She decided to pull over and let the car pass, but when she did, the headlights simply vanished. Confused, she got back on the road, her heart pounding. The empty road stretched on, the trees on either side seeming to close in on her. A sign appeared ahead, its letters barely visible. Rest stop, 1 mile. Emily sighed in relief. She desperately needed a break and perhaps some answers. She took the exit and found herself on a narrow, winding road that led to a small, decrepit rest stop. The building looked abandoned, its windows dark and broken. But she saw an old, flickering neon sign that read, "Open." She parked and hesitantly stepped out of her car. The cold air bit at her skin as she walked towards the building. Inside, the air was stale, and the only light came from a few dim bulbs hanging from the ceiling. An old man sat behind the counter, his eyes hidden under the brim of a worn-out hat. "Can I help you?" he asked, his voice raspy. "My GPS died, and I'm lost," Emily replied. "Do you have a map or something?" The old man nodded slowly and pulled out a faded map from under the counter. As he handed it to her, his eyes met hers, and she felt a chill run down her spine. His gaze was hollow, almost lifeless. "Be careful out there," he whispered. "This road has a way of keeping people." Emily thanked him and quickly left, unnerved by his words. She got back into her car and unfolded the map. It showed a way back to the main highway, and she sighed in relief. She followed the directions, but the road seemed to twist and turn, leading her deeper into the forest. Her headlights flickered and the engine sputtered. Panic set in as the car rolled to a stop. She tried the ignition, but it was dead. Desperation clawed at her as she looked around, the darkness pressing in on her. Then she saw them. Figures emerging from the trees, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. They surrounded her car, their faces twisted in eerie smiles. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she realized the truth. The legends were real. She was trapped on the Phantom Highway, and there was no escape. The last thing she heard was the sound of whispering voices, welcoming her to her eternal journey on the haunted road.